India is briefing on Operation Sindoor. As per this, two young women officers will brief world media. Colonel Sophia Qureshi and Wing Commander Vyomika Singh. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri will be present here as well. This is part of the briefing by the Indian Armed Forces. India will be briefing on Operation Sindoor, which was carried out earlier in the wee hours of the morning today. Two young women officers will be briefing world media, Colonel Sophia Qureshi and Wing Commander Vyomika Singh. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri is also going to be present here in this press briefing. Operation Sindoor, where 9 specific terrorist infrastructure locations were targeted by the Indian Armed Forces. And now, soon enough, in this press briefing, we will finally hear from the Indian Armed Forces of what exactly India did, and it will now depend on what kind of details come out from this press briefing, because this will really throw a lot of light onto what exactly happened in Operation Sindoor. Colonel Sophia Qureshi, Wing Commander Vyomika Singh. These two names, and of course Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri. They're going to be presiding over this press briefing. They will be interacting with world media, and we are going to be tracking all those developments here. Dharam, again, I think this press briefing is going to really shed a lot of light on what exactly happened, because there is a lot of hearsay coming in, and as truth is seldom to be believed when there are so many sources providing so many different accounts of what really happened. This is where we will finally know what the Indian Armed Forces were able to achieve in Operation Sindoor.
Absolutely, Shivan. We saw that the operation took place in the wee hours just before 2 a.m., approximately 1:44, 1:45 a.m. This morning. Now, after that, we have been hearing so many different versions, like you rightly said. But now is the time when the Defence Forces will be putting out a joint statement, giving more details and information in terms of, one, what transpired in the operation that was carried out in the wee hours earlier this morning, and two, also any other form of action or any other instructions, if I may say so, that the armed forces would want to issue in public interest, any other clarification that they want to issue to Indian and the world media to ensure that the facts is separated from the rhetoric and the hearsay that we've been hearing from different sides of the country coming in. Having said that, I think some clarity is also expected later in the day with respect to how these border areas which we were talking about, how the circumstances will pan out over there, what the security officials are doing to ensure minimal impact to civilian life, to property and to infrastructure. We're already hearing tragic news coming in from Jammu and Kashmir Valley, where 8 were killed in Poonch during artillery and shelling from the Pakistani side into the Jammu and Kashmir territory. Now, the forces' main aim after carrying out a successful strike is going to be to ensure that this does not escalate further and there is no trickle-down effect into the states of Punjab and Haryana, Punjab and Rajasthan, which also share a fairly porous and a long border with Pakistan. Shivan.
Thanks, Dharam. I'll come back to you just to give you a better understanding of the two young lady officers who are going to be presiding over this briefing on Operation Sindoor. One of them is Colonel Sophia Qureshi. Now, Lieutenant Colonel Sophia Qureshi, just to give you a little understanding, she created history as the first lady officer to lead an Indian Army contingent at a multinational military exercise. And she is at the young age of 35. She's broken barriers, and of course she's one of the two young lady officers, along with Wing Commander Vyomika Singh and Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri, who are going to be presiding over this press briefing. Operation Sindoor. Now, what exactly happened in Operation Sindoor is what we will finally get to know, because till now there are a lot of accounts coming in, and as the saying goes, truth is the first casualty of war. This is not war, unless Pakistan decides they want to make this one, because India has only targeted terrorist infrastructure, but Pakistan is targeting civilians on this side of the border. Their army has turned the ceasefire violation from small arms fire to shelling, and they have killed 8 people across the border, civilians in Poonch district, and nearly 30 people have been injured, and this number has only been rising, is what we've understood from our correspondent Idris Lone, who's there on ground in Srinagar, getting us the latest by the minute. He's been tracking it since the wee hours of the morning. This is the death count, viewers. India targets terrorist infrastructure, Pakistan's first reaction is to kill civilians on the Indian border. That is what is being understood. So now India has given its reply. It was a measured reply, but Pakistan is turning this into something else. But the ball, as of now, is in Pakistan's court. Do they want to make this a fifth war between the two nations? History knows what happened in the earlier wars. Operation Sindoor, viewers, the press briefing is going to start any time now. Two young lady officers, Colonel Sophia Qureshi, Wing Commander Vyomika Singh, are going to be briefing media. This is world media that they'll be briefing. Vikram Misri, the Foreign Secretary in India, will be present in the briefing. Operation Sindoor, two women officers will be briefing world media. As you see, the stage is set. There are 3 chairs here that we see. 2 for the young lady officers and Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri. They are going to be presiding over. World media is waiting to hear exactly what Operation Sindoor was all about. And just to give our international viewers an understanding of what Sindoor really means, Sindoor is the red tilak which is put by Hindu women at the center of their foreheads. And this is married women who put the Sindoor. And this is an ode to all the women who lost someone close in their families, the male figures in their families who were killed on the 22nd of April in that ghastly Pahalgam terror attack. And this is now the Indian befitting reply. All right, I'll quickly go across to Dharamjot once again. Dharam, we're trying to get a better understanding of the young lady officers who are going to be presiding over. Interesting choice of of the officers who are going to be presiding over this. Give us more.
Well, Shivan, it's clearly a message right from the name of the operation to the officers who are now going to be leading this press briefing. Clearly, this is about the women, the families who have lost the men who were singled out in that terror attack on April 22nd, tourists who were singled out, in the name of religion, community, gender, and we saw how that entire incident transpired. We saw how it shook the nation. So clearly, over the course of the 15 days that we've seen, armed forces, they came together, they put their heads down, they negotiated, figured out a plan to give a befitting reply to the terror organizations that carried out this cross-border terror attack. Now, from that to naming the Operation Sindoor, as we've been talking since morning, to now having 2 women officers tell the entire world, including the media, what exactly transpired at 1:45 a.m. early this morning in terms of the joint operation carried out by the Indian Army, the Indian Air Force and the Indian Navy. A lot of details are awaited, Shivan. A lot of clarity is awaited. As we've been discussing constantly, there are so many different versions we're hearing. There's so many personal accounts that we're hearing. At this point, at this juncture of escalation, at a point where a lot of civilian lives are at risk, where there's cross-border escalation happening, there's a lot of uncertainty, not just in Jammu and Kashmir, but also in the border states of Rajasthan and potentially in Punjab. The armed forces are giving this clarity to ensure that, there's a single linear information line that trickles through the entire country and also to global media to ensure that everybody knows what exactly happened, how it happened, and maybe potentially what the next course of action is, Shivan.
Thank